Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Also running that old Tucson Coin Show in January, so come on down, TucsonCoinShow.com. And let's look at some really cool paper money today. Remember to like, share, subscribe, YouTube the YouTube. And I just got to say, I love paper ephemera. So this is just like odds and ends. This particular check is from, looks like that would be 1871. October 5th, 1871, maybe some of you's birthday, the October 5th part. And Gold Hill, Nevada, agency of the Bank of California, Gold Hill, Nevada. I mean, how cool is that, right? And then it's held and deposited in this bank, you know, payable to, and here we got the Bank of in San Francisco. So I recently had some national banknotes that could have been on a similar bank. It was Bank of California, San Francisco, Nevada, Wells Fargo. It was this whole big deal. So I don't know if this bank turned into that bank or not. $50 in U.S. gold coins, the Bank of California. Just fun stuff. And of course, certificate of deposit. I actually had to have a stamp to be embossed. That's it, a stamp. You had to have a stamp on it. Now, how cool is that? Next up, I thought this was really awesome here. This thing is actually, you know, the matchup verin agent. Colin handle gelded gordy verden 5 Colin carton. And so what's cool about this is it's actually the Belgian Socialist Cooperation, but this is made out of like a pressed cardboard, which is, I think, very cool. And it's numbered. Hello. I don't know where my focus disappeared to. But pretty neat, assuming that this is actually correct here. Valid for the value of 5 coal. And then this is probably a cancel mark, I would imagine. You know, that's usually what things like that are. So this is, from my understanding of what you have here, something that was probably given out so that someone could use it to redeem it from like the company store, so to speak. 5 coal dollars, basically. I mean, how cool is that, right? Speaking of fun, here's the distillery warehouse. The distillery warehouse. So I thought this was kind of fun. Series of 1878 from the Internal Revenue. This is not signed, it's only canceled. So just kind of fun going through some of these old things here. I got a couple more cool old things, and then actually let me just show you one more cool old thing, and then I'm going to show you some banknotes you may like. Certificate of transfer issued by the American Aberdeen Angus Breeders Association. This certifies that the ownership of the bull, numbered here under, named Glenn Escher. I like the Glenn Escher Orchestra, actually. March 1899, and it is actually seal embossed. So that's fun. Then we have some other dates here from August of 1901 and 02. And the original date of June of 1899. The sellers, B.B. Bowen, Henry Taylor, and here is your seal, the Breeders Association. Also, I recently happened to get in kind of some fun U.S. banknotes. Fun. And look at that. So these were intriguing to me because this note is appears to be a nice uncirculated version of a 1963 $2 red seal note, and it's got 3 1s and 5 8s. If you didn't know, there's a total of 8 numbers on a U.S. banknote. And so Interesting to me that this was originally from about 20 years ago sold for $275, which felt like a big number. Because here, this note here with the 888-81111 from 1999, I thought was kind of a cooler number because you had 4 and 4. Now, these notes together would have been really killer if, once again, the red seal would have had one more 1 at the front end, and then you would have had this inverse correlation on these. So I don't know what these are actually worth. I mean, this was originally sold for $125. So sometimes these notes are called binary, which just means that there's 2. So you have 2 different numbers. But once again, I find it to be much more intriguing the 4 8s followed by 4 1s versus the 3 1s followed by 5 8s. Those guys maybe we'll just put up for auction. But what's also fun, maybe we'll auction this, maybe we'll price it, I don't know. This note here, solid serial number notes are always in demand. It's not a lot of people that collect them, but there are so few of them. With the millions of notes that are printed, you only have a handful that are actually printed with a solid set of serial numbers to them. This was originally sold, if someone's notes are correct, in 2005 for $675. And it's probably worth more than that today. I mean, I'd imagine even this well-circulated, partially stained note, I think solid serial numbers go for close to $1,000 in just close to almost any grade right now. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe this one, because of the staining and wrinkles, would sell for a bit less. All right, back to some of the coolest ephemera I've seen, and I picked this stuff up. I was like, this is so fun. Anything that has this look to it, you know, we're talking colonial time period notes, 1792, and of course this one is a insurance company, Amicable Society, Perpetual Assurance, has this really cool blue bird on it, and actually it's getting a little bit reminiscent of the Mexican emblem with you've got the bird on the snake. By the way, just go watch one YouTube video about birds and snakes and you'll end up you know, well, YouTube will show you 4,000 of them, but they're always kind of interesting. So, right, perpetual office on the life of Thomas Hodges Esquire, £1 11 shilling for 1/4 contribution due at this day 1,792, and then the register signed it. So this one, I don't know if this one has a watermark or not. Let me see here. Sometimes these guys have, oh, there you go. There's a watermark. Quite the watermark, actually. Not just a place for retirement anymore. That guy. Also, anything like I said from that time period with this look on it, this guy I don't think has the watermark. I think this guy just has this embossed seal here. You can see what light can do for you. Bon pour 25 francs. Is that 25? I think that's 25 francs. Promissory note. Let's see here. Promissory note, 25 francs. I'm trying to figure out where this is from exactly, or what it was for exactly. Treasury National control number. And then after that, I just keep seeing the word crepes. I just, you know, I don't know what it's saying here. One of you guys, someone translate for me here. By the way, you know, with as far as signatures and autographs go, how about this? Like, just this little autograph, but the huge pen stroke follow through on the back end. Reminds me almost of what Thomas Edison's looks like. But once again, you're talking about a piece of paper that's going to be most likely from the 1700s. I'm also not seeing a date on this, but oh, here we go. Yeah, that's probably the date right there in the middle. But let's get on to the final two pieces, which are mockumentous. Actually, this is not mockumentous. So this one is pretty wild. This is a travel dollar. The Pleasure Tours Inc., official Milwaukee ticket agents, 312 East Wisconsin Avenue. And the SAS travel dollar, the dollar that goes a long way. Now, some of you may notice right away what I noticed right away, which was, you've got the SAS here, which looks like, SAS, and then the SAS here, which of course looks a whole lot like the two S's that you didn't want to see. And so this is pretty wild to me. I don't know what MFYTD stands for, but then again, half the times I get a text from my kids and its initials. I'm not sure what it says. Scandinavian Airlines Systems, Travel Dollar, New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, LA, Washington, Cleveland, Detroit, Minneapolis, San Francisco, Seattle, Tucson, Travel Dollar 1. So, interestingly enough, I am not seeing a date on here, but also, someone can help me with that. I think this might predate, I don't know planes, World War II. And the history on that. But what's fun is you can get into stuff like this and find the history on it. Last but not least, no, this is not for sale. This is a mockumentary note. This note is fantastic. So an absolute money for the sum of $1,000. So sometimes you see modern versions of this where it'll be like the $1 million bill. And you will see, notes that mock someone else politically. So it's a political satire note to the memory of, here is the serial number, which I find to be fantastic. Series number, a mortgage on all property in the United States, Swindleville Avenue, Washington City, July 24th, 1880. 1,000, here you go, Revenue Office, Treasury, it's empty and broken, the eagle is bald and falling apart, there are skulls in the cornucopia, there is a snake around the bill, around a $1,000 bill, flat form, eternal damnation to any man who refuses to take this bill at par for all debts. Brick Pomeroy Treasurer, which is funny because that's actually a callback. Pomeroy was the guy who signed all those Connecticut notes 100 years previous to this in the 1780s. Redeemable nowhere in nothing and by nobody. The law directs that this money shall circulate freely. When this note has been spent, another may be had upon application at the U.S. Treasury. And here's the U.S. Mint cranking them out. And here is, I believe, probably someone who's just supposed to be, I don't know if this is supposed to be the soul of the average person saying stop. And then you have fractions of pennies here with the devil's taken away. Rags, rags, and rags to the devil. Full tender for debts public and private. Death to any man who refuses to give us more credit. So if you think the story of debt and spending in America is new, this note is 144 years old. The poor man's money. And what's interesting is this is probably back at the same time. So after the Civil War, there was something called the Greenback Party. And they actually were farmers who demanded more greenbacks and less gold and silver. The opposite of what we think today. The poor man's money. The more a man has of it, the poorer he is. Burn the bonds. Civilization demands paper currency representing no artificial value. Francis Hughes. This is just the thing, represents no value whatever. No more contraction or of the currency. No more work. We endorse this as money. Dewars and Mason, managers of the U.S. Mint. This is honest money and will make everybody honest, as no one will counterfeit it, rob, or kill for it. And then Uriah Stevens, oh dang, there's Greek on here. All right, theologians, I know who you are. Let me know what that says. Down with capital, burn the bonds, shoot the bondholder. Viva la commune. The people want cheap money and plenty of it. This is cheap as dirt and plenty as the lice and locusts of Egypt. Divide all property equally. This note is to be received at its face value for all debts, public and private, to prevent disputes between buyers and sellers, as the amount of this money necessary to purchase any article of commerce value and prices in all cases are to be fixed by the purchaser. No more interest to anybody when the government has completed its work of issuing one of these notes to each individual in the nation. Every person will be worth $1,000. It's so funny because I talk about that at times in my private life, that we're all going to be millionaires soon. Don't worry about it. Gold is a coward, H.B. Wright. This money is not afraid of anybody. So in 1880, just a fabulous piece of history, and something that I will treasure, and maybe you can find one out there somewhere in the marketplace. But I've never seen one before. I picked it up at a show, and I thought, man, this thing is too cool. Too much fun history to learn from, all in one place. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.